Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt with 86. Now I want to start this one by saying real quick, this is going to be in my top 2 picks for easiest turntables to just be kind of getting and being an all-in-one. It's number 1 for being all-in-one, I think. Number 2, because it doesn't have fully automatic features and a little lower on the customization side of things. One by One, an unsuspecting company using a very familiar plinth design and a stock setup that seemingly we've seen just about everywhere in these other ones like the Retro Life one or the Angel's Horn one. They're all very similar plinths and designs. Now I've got a cat fighting behind me. I'm going to go stop that real quick. I'll be right back. Now I'm going to do my best to get through this breakdown and overview as quickly as possible. This is One by One's all-in-one turntable hi-fi system. It comes with 2 rather impressive passive bookshelf speakers. I didn't expect these to be anything worthwhile at all, but they are actually really good. We'll come back around to those speakers and I'll attempt to record a sample so that you can hear over them. It'll be a more independent sound since it's not going to be a comparison between turntables. For now, let's look at the turntable though and get it set up. The turntable uses a concealed belt drive. The belt goes around the plastic wheel and pulls around the motor. Once the belt is installed, we place a 10-inch iron platter on top of the spindle and then the slip mat on top of that. Simple enough. I'm known to skip anti-skating on ones like these because I don't like that gravity weight system anti-skating. I'm not a fan of these drop weights, but to cover it quickly, you'll take the loop of the fishing line side and place it over the 3rd ring on the tiny black protrusion arm on the back of the tone arm. Then you'll rest the weight part over the hook. The weight is pre-measured for you to provide optimal resistance. If you change the cartridge later to something else, it'll be a crapshoot if fine-tuning the anti-skating is your thing. Once that's on, or not, you do you, take the guard off the stylus and slide the weight onto the back of the tone arm. Slowly turn and find a 0 point of balance. And what that means is to balance the tone arm with the weight on the back and so that it's just kind of floating there. Once it is, you hold the weight and spin the plastic dial to 0. This will indicate that you're at a 0 point of balance. Now, 3600s require more than the average cartridge to optimize gram force. So your gram force should be about 2 to 2.5. That seems to be a pretty decent range for people to find a decent gram force for the Audio-Technica ATN 3600s. The weight that comes with these is a little bit on the lighter side and somewhat underlabeled. I would highly recommend one of these small scales to measure gram force accurately. It's very handy and it will help you a lot, especially with these more lightweight kind of generic weights that we see on some of these tone arms. Once that's sorted, the turntable is set up. So let's cover the features and the need-to-know things. To the right of the tone arm is a volume knob. Below this is a mode button to swap between Bluetooth and the turntable's actual built-in mode stuff. So if you choose to broadcast music out, you can broadcast right to the turntable and it'll broadcast over the speakers that come with it. You have selectors for both 33 and 45 and a play-pause button which activates or deactivates the turntable spinning. If the turntable has been on for a while, it will auto-saver sleep or shut off. This will require you to reach around to the back left of the turntable and flip the switch from on to off to back to on. I've come across this across all the ones that look like this, so that's what makes me feel kind of an OEM design. It just seems to be a feature that's intended to be a power saving feature and a safety feature perhaps. That way if you fall asleep with it spinning, it will automatically turn off and shut the whole thing down. You'll just have to turn it off and back on again. So since we're talking about the switch in the back, let's go ahead and go around to the back and check out what's back here. On the back we have a ground line screw, your left-right inputs, a bypass toggle for bypassing the built-in preamp and going phono, and I believe the built-in preamp is a pretty basic Texas Instruments preamp. You may notice there's a USB Type-B for going to USB Type-A to a PC to take music from your vinyl and transfer it into digital music. So if you want to have some of your old records kind of turned into a digital file so that you have that, that is something you can do here. I don't mess with that and I'm not going to cover that in this video, but it is a capability of this turntable. Next to that we have the DC input for plugging in the power, and then you have left-right speaker terminals, your black and red ones here. You have 2 of them, each for the passive speakers that are included. Finally, the power toggle that I mentioned is on the far right. I had extremely low expectations for the included speakers. However, they seem to be very capable and highly enjoyable speakers. We'll do a quick audio test. I'm going to use a pressed record by Your Lad using Salt the Earth, and then one of the ones that I just like using because it has a pretty decent range of sound. It's going to be on a personally cut Print Your Vinyl vinyl. It's 180 gram polycarbonate vinyl that's lathe cut, and it'll be Liquid's Birthday, which is one of my favorites to do a sample with, and let you listen to the 2 sounds, 2 different types of cut style records over the ATN 3600L, played over the passive speakers that are included with the 1x1 turntable. You be the judge of what you think. Hopefully it gives you a pretty good idea of what it sounds like. It can be a little difficult recording over a microphone, which I'm using a Deity microphone less than 2 feet away, and trying to recreate an audio sound for you to hear over your own listening devices. It can be a little difficult to do, but hopefully it gives you a good idea. What 1x1 has nicely packaged up for you is maybe all you will need, especially if you're just getting started into this field. You can change the cartridge later on the tone arm. They give you that capability. Not the easiest to do, but it's something you can do. And they give you that all-in-one answer with some nice bookshelf passive speakers and not a whole lot of mess to have to deal with. One minor gripe that I have is I did have an issue with one of the speaker terminals. The spring popped out when I dropped it down to put the wire in. It was simple enough to put the spring back in, slide the plastic piece back in there, and get it to stay seated, but maybe some higher quality speaker terminals would be a little bit better on the back of this thing. Avoid some headaches in the future. Maybe even some banana plug capable ones would be awesome for this. Overall, the ease of use, the style, the sound, it checks all the boxes for me. I would easily tell somebody that's looking to get into this, if you're looking for that sort of all-in-one solution that's above and beyond those suitcase ones you've seen everywhere, this would be a good option to look into. Maybe one of the better options to look into overall. Get whatever makes you happy. Spin on. You guys have a great day, night, whatever it is, and I'll see you in the next video I do.